supposed to give it like the woo.
I can't get that high.
Yo, what up? Welcome to Word of Mouth Podcast with Nate and Shelby. We're back at it here again. Another day,
Season 3.
season 3, another season.
What the what?
Wow, another season. Shell,
Nate.
if this is season 3, then we've already went through 2 seasons.
Really? Is that what that means?
I was going somewhere with that.
Uh-huh.
So you know that how there are 4 seasons
Yes.
in the year.
Uh-huh.
So this is already season 3.
We're almost done?
No, we're gonna keep going. Anyway, yes, season 3, brand new season. We're supposed to be you're supposed to see our faces now. But you will. We're working on it.
We're working on it. We keep saying that, but really we are.
Promise you we are. We're working on it. And we'll have it up here real soon. But we wanted to kick it off today, man, talking about some issues, of course, that we do honestly talk about it all the time, but we don't dig into it enough to where we dialogue from a perspective of just real, authentic, tangible, normal conversation that is not degrading nor is it offensive, but we have to just display the truth. And men, talking to you today, that's something that we're going to talk about starting season 3 off, just about men and our roles as men. I would love for Shelby to kick it off, and she's over there thinking about some different things, so she's going to ask me questions today. But men, man, we've lost some roles there in this day and age. Things are a little bit different. We act different. We're treating our spouses, our loved ones different. What's going on? That's the big question.
What's
today.
going on?
Yes, that's the big question today. What's going on? How can we get back in right standing and allow at least women to know across the board that men are going to be there. Men are going to take their rightful place. One of my favorite movies is Lion King. I've said it before. And Rafiki was talking to Simba, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he popped him upside the head. And he was like, "Why did you do that?" He said, "It doesn't matter. It's the
In
past."
the past.
And then once he realized what he was
Run
meaning
from
with
it?
that,
Or are you going to learn from
come on, that's her movie. I love it. But he realized that he had to take his place back and to
it? Reclaim his
where-
territory.
And we have that opportunity now, man, to reclaim that and be the men that we're supposed to be. So, want to talk about some real issues today. Some real issues. Shell, what's up?
It's a beautiful day today. Seriously, it is good.
Got you. From a woman perspective. Have men lost their identity?
From a woman's perspective, have men lost their identity?
Man, that's such a loaded question.
It is a loaded question.
Because a woman is answering this. But how can you answer if you're not a man?
I
But
can
you're the
only
outside
ask.
looking in.
Yeah, I can only answer from my perspective,
Mhm.
my opinion, which is all this is.
Yes, of course.
I think, I don't know that I don't know that it's been men's fault necessarily. I do think that there has been a lot of confusion brought into the roles of both sexes. I think there's been a lot of division brought into it. I think we paint with a broad brush.
Hmm.
And so if one man's bad, they're all bad.
Wow.
If one man's weak, they're all weak. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I think in society, that's what we do. We like to generalize and put people in boxes where we feel they're not a risk to us if we can keep them in that
Can I tell you
box.
like how amazing of what you just said is true coming from a woman? Because women have said that indirectly over time that if it's one man, all men. I'm gonna give you an example. If they have ever been dogged out by a man,
And who hasn't?
they have put every other
Man
man
in that box.
from a woman. Thank you for saying that because we've had to fight not to be the ex.
But don't you men don't do that?
What?
Do the same thing to us. Like if they've been
No.
okay.
Boom.
That was a quick answer. I think that's true. I mean, I do agree with you. I think that's true because women are more emotional and tend to be more connected to that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's my story. I'm sticking to it.
Okay. Sounds
yes.
good to me.
Yes. Men, speaking from a man, I don't judge them based upon last. Not their characteristics. Maybe something that would look familiar.
Yeah, red flags that pop up.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about that before, but not their characteristics, no.
Okay.
But women have. And I get it. You just
Yeah.
said it. I get it. Because it is a...
Well, it turns on those same emotions, and so then they're like, ugh, like I'm not. They don't want to have that trigger.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to be triggered like that again.
But isn't it already your thought or a woman's thought?
I can't speak for everyone, but I think as a whole in society, if I'm being completely honest, I think men have gotten a raw deal lately, and I think that we have really demoralized them,
Mm-hmm.
kind of dehumanized them, and it hasn't been good for anybody. I think that instead of allowing each person to be an individual, we have lumped everyone into categories.
Wow.
Whether it's women or men. Um, you know, if I speak on this, I'm going to tell you that my philosophy is going back to the 50s and 60s when all of a sudden they put women into the workforce. And my perspective is that it was a ploy from the government to get more tax dollars. And so that was just what they programmed and that's what they made us think was necessity.
Mm-hmm.
It totally started dissolving everything from that point on. The family unit,
Yes.
men's security within themselves, women's security within themselves. And don't get me wrong, I'm not a woman basher at all. I'm not a man basher. I believe both sexes have equally important roles in the world, always have from the get go. And they're both vitally important and they both need each other. I believe women can do anything. I believe men can do anything. So don't go off on me about I'm not a woman's liver or whatever. I'm really not. But anyways,
Who's gonna go off on you? They
I
bet
don't
not.
know.
They bet.
Oh, I don't.
not.
I'm just saying. Anyways, I think that was the beginning of the downfall
Gotcha.
in general of everything: relationships, marriages, family unit, being able to respect each other as opposite sex.
That has gone out the window now. I've noticed that quite a bit. That there's no more respect now for women. It used to be a time. And maybe I'm old school on this one, but yeah, I got two or three things that I'm gonna stick with for the rest of my life. I still believe in chivalry. I do believe that men can be gentlemen. Yes, they can open your door. Yes, they can provide, protect, and cover. I do believe that 100%. I've taught my son. I would continue to teach my children that is and will always be true. Another thing I believe that we have gotten away from is the respect of women. When you feel the need, I'm gonna say it because of the field that I'm in. I have to say it correctly. it's not okay to put your hands on a woman if she hasn't assaulted you in any kind of way.
Hmm.
Because men are men can still overtake
Yeah,
a
a woman
woman.
is a weaker vessel, like we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
That's what the word says.
I believe in protecting yourself. I believe that. Um,
And a woman should not lay hands on a man. We shouldn't, it goes both ways, but because of the strength within men, yes, they definitely should not.
period.
Period.
That's definitely my story, and I don't give a crap who don't like that part. Call me. I'll tell you to your face. Don't put your hands on a woman. So some of those things I probably won't. I won't change on. However, I do think that men have become just a tad bit lazy, and we've allowed um, women to take the role of a man.
Yes, yeah, me raise my hand. I did it. I lived it, so I understand that. Yes, absolutely.
That part I
I
don't
didn't want to,
understand.
but yeah, that's what life brought me, and that's how I handled it.
I don't quite understand it because you do still want to be the man, but you're not fulfilling.
The duties.
Yeah.
Do men even know what their duties are anymore?
Thank you for
Do
that.
they know what their role
There
is
it
anymore?
is. There it is. There it is.
Do women know their role?
That I was just about to go there. We own it now. We in the meat of it. Let's talk about it.
Okay, let's talk about it.
So men, I mean, like, do we honestly know our roles? And women, what is a role? What is a role? Like
Well,
to a woman.
if you ask me, I'm going to go back to how it used to be because I'm old school.
So you do know that's out the window. Like they don't even think. That's why I
Well,
talked about chivalry
right.
and the respect of a woman. Like they don't. That's not even common anymore.
Oh, I know. And I'm raising two boys, and I'm not sure that they even fall into that category right now. And I have a daughter too, so I see both sides of it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I would say that I believe everything goes in cycles. And just like we're talking about the entitled generation that's underneath us that we've raised, I think that that also will cycle back if we don't get so destroyed by technology that we don't lose all communication and ability to relate.
Honestly, that's inevitable right
No, I'm not going to believe that. I have hope.
now. In what? There are people getting laid off and fired from jobs because of technology.
Oh, I know, but y'all didn't see that coming? I mean, come on now.
So, yeah, that's
Anyways, let's not go off on a tangent about that because that's a whole nother
that is
situation.
that is a big one.
But
That's a huge
I am an old school person. I believe that, I go back to the word and what the word says, and I talk about it all the time, and how we are supposed to be um, a benefit to each other. We're supposed to complement each other. We're supposed to work together as a unit because we offset each other's flaws and weaknesses. And that's how God created us. So, yeah, for a while I was like anti-relationship, anti-marriage, all that stuff after I got divorced. But my perspective has changed. But regardless of marriage or whatever, we're still designed that way to be a complement to each other. Men and women are supposed to work together. We're not supposed to be opposing forces, and we have become opposing forces.
100%. And to take it a step further, not only have we become opposing, but now we're in competition.
Yeah, because of the workforce and stuff like that.
So why are we competing with each other? Man and woman competing? That's crazy to me.
Well, let's not even get into the gender identity issues where men are actually competing against women in sports, and they shouldn't be, in my opinion.
I can't.
Ouch.
I don't even want to go there.
Stepped on those toes, but
That's a whole nother conversation.
it is a whole nother
Jeez.
conversation. But that's women are being dissolved, and men are being uh,
De-
discounted.
Dehumanized was a great word
Yeah.
you used earlier.
But women are, I mean, women are becoming obsolete. Honestly, that's what society or that's what the media and everything wants us to believe because you can't define what a woman is anymore. They can't have their own
Wow.
sporting events. They can't have their own autonomy and we're now birthers or whatever. What the hell is that? I'm not a birthing whatever they call it now. Human. I don't know.
Further?
No.
What?
I'm a woman. I'm a mother. I birthed a child, yes, a few of them, um, because I am a woman. Anyways, we're going off on another tangent.
Well, that's that is a that's a conversation that need to take place because men are stepping up trying to take the role of a woman. Men, you would never have a period.
No, no, you
You would
won't.
never understand a menstrual cycle.
No, not that they're fun to have, because believe me, we'd love to share the misery with you, but it ain't gonna happen. That's not how God designed it.
Men, you would never birth a child.
No, but if you don't understand your identity and how God created you, you're never going to understand that. If you don't understand the whole basis of why we're supposed to be what we are, you're never going to understand that. But going back to the roles of men and women.
That's one of the roles that we subjected ourselves, men have subjected ourselves to because now we feel like we're inadequate. Now we feel like because we are dehumanized, I might as well just be a woman now. I might as well just, give up and quit or just be a hermit. I don't, I, what? Why can't we just go back to the basics and realize what God created from the beginning?
And what that role is.
That part is real simple. I can read it. It's real simple. I've given you power and dominion over everything.
Mm-hmm.
You have the right to speak and to decree and to declare over any living thing. Our role is to protect,
Lead.
to lead, to cover,
Mm-hmm.
to secure, raise our children in that way. Let the women, the mothers, be the nurturers in which they are. I've always struggled with this, and I probably need just another opinion on this because being that my mom was everything to me, I can't see, in my mind, I can't see a man being a nurturer. Can it happen? I don't know. I personally can't see it. Reason being because my mom was that nurturer. She was the nurturer.
Mm-hmm.
Women carry that.
Right.
So I don't.
And that's one of our roles. Right. Why are you looking at me like that?
Because I can't see a man nurturing. Oh man, I don't know. It's just.
But okay, if you live in society today, it tells you that men are supposed to be a nurturer and that men are supposed to be able to do everything that women do. It doesn't, that's part of the thing is that society tells us that we're supposed to be able to do both of each other's jobs and both of each other's roles. And then we suck at both of those things because we're not staying to our own design. And so then everything just snowballs out of that, where, I'm pissed at my husband because he's not nurturing the kids because that's what I'm told is accepted by society nowadays.
Wow.
And he's pissed at me because I'm not disciplining the kids.
Wow. Wow.
And so see, that's the whole thing. We're being so programmed. All of this is it's everything against the word of God. It's everything opposite of the word of God. And we're buying into all this bull crap.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah. Signing up for it, buying into it.
Right.
Saying, hey, we accept it. Okay, whatever we'll do it.
Yeah, I'll be more masculine. And I have become more masculine. I'm not saying I haven't. I absolutely have. I'll own it. It wasn't something I was planning to do. It wasn't something that I ever thought I would do, but that's what I had to do to make life go on. I'm still a woman, believe me.
Amen.
And I still have all the feminine characteristics. I just
Yes.
had to pick up a masculine role. But there's too much of that going on,
Mm.
going in both directions.
Yes, it is.
And if a woman, I do have to say, if a woman doesn't live in her feminine, and I hate to say energy, but in that femininity, it's hard for a man to live in his masculinity because he has nothing to butt up against.
It's a competition. It's
Yeah.
like two men at the gym. I was there this morning. And it's like I'm looking at the guy over here. He's looking at me, and we're just, hey, what up, dude? What up, dude? That's it. So that's how we are in the home too. Hey, what up, dude? Hey, what up,
Well,
dude?
there's a lot of cohabitating, I'm sure. I mean, I lived it for quite some time, so.
I think a woman needs to live her feminine ways in which she was created to be.
But we're
Period.
losing that. We're losing that whole thing. We're losing the whole basis of what that is. And we're losing the whole basis of what masculinity is. And the more we let them skew us into thinking that we can all be androgynous, what is it? That's the wrong word.
I'm gonna come back to you with that word once I think of it.
But we're not supposed to be. We're not supposed to become things we are not.
Cohabitating is what I'm thinking of, but I got you.
No, androgynous, where you can be one sex and then be the other.
Androgynous. Yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes, yes.
you can just float
Thank you.
back and forth.
Yeah, no, that wasn't the creation. It
Yeah.
really wasn't.
And if God had thought that that was the best plan, believe me, He would have created that.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Because there was a time period, very very small time period that man was just by himself.
Hmm.
Very very small though. But once God realized how lonely he was,
Hmm.
he put him to sleep and created something that was so amazing. And I can't understand why that thing that he created that was so amazing can't be amazing today because they carry 2, 3, 5, 17 rows.
We're still amazing.
Amen. Yes, you all are. Women, you're amazing. Promise you are. You're amazing.
Men are too. And they're, I don't want to, like, we're painting with a broad brush, like right now. But we're kind of doing that to make a point.
I want to be critical to the men because we do have to take our place back and we've lost it. So I'm going to paint with that narrow brush and say, men, step up and let's get back into character.
But how do they do that if they don't know how? If they've been raised by, if they've only, well, see, now you were raised by a mom only.
Single parent,
and you
yes.
were able to figure it out.
Facts.
But there are some out there that are not going to, how do they do it if they haven't experienced a masculine father? If they've experienced a masculine mother because she had to become that, and for the girls, vice versa.
Okay. Maybe it'll take more men stepping up that chooses to walk in their masculine ways and say, hey, bruh, come on, let's go out to eat, man. Let's talk about this. Hey, men, let's have some round table discussions. Hey, men, let's discuss some things that we bottle up so much and we never talk about. Let's have some men discussions for real because we have this surface stuff because we want to look a certain way around other men and we don't want to display any type of he emotions because we think that they're going to look at us a certain way.
Or confusion.
Absolutely.
And I do want to say, though, because I have volunteered most of my life in some form or fashion, whether it be PTA, room mom, soccer mom, whatever. I would say the amount of women that step up to volunteer and be part of the community is much greater than men.
That's been from the beginning to me, from what I've seen.
Now, men work, and that's the
True.
traditional role.
True.
But so did I, and I did that stuff. So I think that is a weakness. I think that area is a weakness that men need to start getting involved in
Yes.
community stuff, in bettering the world,
Absolutely.
and not playing video games or I don't know. I mean, I'm not trying to be judgmental. I'm really not. But that is a fact. Men have to start becoming more involved in community effort.
I agree. I'm gonna talk about. I'm gonna bring something up about the women here in just a second. I feel like that again. If we don't, men are not even conversating anymore. We're so quiet when we're around other people because we don't want to look a certain way.
You don't want your soft underbelly exposed.
So that's why we don't even know a role. I can't even conversate with someone.
But see, a lot of men would say that is your role, that you don't get to do that, that you don't
What?
get to be soft in any way.
It's not being soft. It's actually just hearing someone else that they can relate to me. To build a relationship is to be able to relate. If me and you, if we're kicking and we're talking about everything, but as your significant other, if me and him are conversating, our conversation is going to be different from me and you
Yeah,
because we're men.
yeah.
So in that, we don't do that no more. Like
But
we're not even talking.
but part of that is considered masculine. Part of that inability, or it's not inability, the closed offness is part of the masculine role in some form and fashion. That's how men have been raised.
Oh, somebody messed up. No, and I guess I didn't get it growing up. So you got to talk. You got to talk. Come on.
Well, I think that yes, men need an outlet. Like they need to have a group of friends that they can go hang with and
Yes.
and
Women ain't gonna be
and
able to
vent
relate to
and
everything.
do that.
I couldn't go to my mom, and this is transparent. I couldn't go to my mom and say, "Mom, I got a hair bump."
Yeah.
Now, sometimes I had to because that's the only parent I had.
Right.
But man, I need men because they can relate. Not just physical. I'm talking about just some different things they can relate to.
Yeah.
But we're not even having that conversation. How can women have, and it's been a proven fact, women can have a billion slumber parties and talk about everything, get together and your girlfriends and y'all sip on some wine and have a good time. Men, yeah, all right. We may get a beer and toast at your wedding reception, and that's it. That's it. We don't have conversation.
Well, get your shit together, men.
Facts.
Come on over to the dark side.
Now, women, I do
Uh-oh.
have
Uh-oh.
for men to even want to do that. There is a role I do believe that women can help in this because women can be very critical.
Yes. We are good at that. And
Very
unappreciative.
There's a list that I can go down. I'm gonna stay with critical, and that criticalness can really it can destroy a man. To be honest, because the words that a woman can say can tear a man apart. Literally.
I don't. I'm not going to disagree with that.
So I think encouragement
Mm-hmm.
from a woman, stand by to build up from just if you love him, let him know that you love him. Talk about him like he's Superman. Like if he's carrying a bunch of groceries in the house, be like, "Ooh, look at them biceps. Ooh, baby. Whew. Boy, you look good." If he's out there mowing the lawn, baby, take off your shirt. I don't care if he got 600 pack.
600.
3 kegs. Baby, take off your shirt. You look good mowing that lawn.
But it's not just about that. It's appreciating the help. It's appreciating the effort. It's acknowledging that stuff.
And women can really build up a man in that if they did acknowledge it. But not a lot of women are acknowledging it. They're like, man, I can do better. I'm talking about even in the bedroom, as women said I can do better. That's another conversation for another day. So,
Well.
so with that, I think that and this is not a bad thing on women. I feel like y- women can play a role in the encouraging more.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, we should. Hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
encourage more.
And yeah, throughout every aspect of society, not just women, we all need to encourage each other more. But yes, if since that's what we're discussing right now, or the opposite sex,
Yes,
absolutely.
from just only, and I'm only talking to the women right there. Like you can, if you told them, that you do believe in them, that you do, you stand by him for real. Like I think he'll try harder. He might, you know, push and get off the game system. If you said, "Hey, I'm with you. Like we can do this thing together." Now, I'm a psychology major, so there's some things that a woman can say that, man, dude, that man will be the best man ever. Not to say that you got to manipulate his mind, but do understand that you are very powerful. Nowhere in the scripture would you read that a man carry virtue. It's woman. So you all carry that power. Absolutely favor. 100%. So you play a major role. I mean, that goes back to the garden.
Yeah, but we're supposed to. Yeah, that's why we're made for each other in the design that he created.
Yes. Yes. So back to the men. If they are doing that and you still ain't doing nothing, then we got a problem. So yeah, we need a men sleepover.
Oh my.
Break out your pajamas,
Oh
bro.
my.
We gotta talk. We gotta
We
have
got
a
to go
round table.
camping.
We can't even be, you know, we can't even be men around men anymore. Like we've become robots around other men.
Really?
Yes.
I'm not a man, so I don't know. That's why I'm
I'm
asking
gonna
the question.
be honest with you. I know women don't do it because women can be like, girl, you can see a woman in the store, and you can she'll be over there by the produce,
Oh
and
yeah, Christy and I did it the other day, and this time,
there it is.
and it was an hour later, and I'm like, oh my gosh,
Men, man, they be like,
what up?
"What up? All right, bro, you good? Thanks. All right, take care. Have a go." That's it. Knowing that we're dying inside, knowing that we need somebody just to hear us, just to understand us, but we won't do it. We won't do it.
But what's the role of the woman in your life as that person to hear you
I
and
believe
understand you?
because we've shut men off, we
You're
want
just
to open
closed
up to
off.
the men, to the women, but we're scared that they may. We're so scared, honesty, that they may look at us like wimps, punks, and all those other words that come along with that.
Really?
Yes,
Because she's supposed to be your softest place to fall.
you would think,
Well, that's how it's supposed to be.
but once her perspective change and she see you as a wimp, yeah, that's over. And then that's when men start seeking other.
I don't know about that. No, I don't know. If you've let her down enough, then yeah, she's gonna see you as a wimp. But it takes time to get there. I don't think you start off in that place. So if you don't wake up to what she's trying to tell you, then yeah, you might become a wimp in her eyes. And I wouldn't call it a wimp, but it's just that she's having to take on everything, and you're staying in your same place. If if and this goes both ways, I'm sure. If someone feels that they're not worth your effort, then they're gonna give up on you.
Okay, yeah, that's definitely true.
Yeah. So if a woman feels that she's not worth your effort, or I'm sure it goes both ways, they're gonna quit.
Well, men don't look. I can't say for sure that all men look at it that way. Um, we're not expecting for you all to give up on us. We do want some encouragement, but we don't know how to say, "Hey, babe, I want some encouragement. Hey, babe, I want you to stick by me." We don't know how to say it, and so
How
we
about you just
expect you all to know it based upon our actions, I guess.
no, I
Sorry, man, I'm
get
telling the
that. No,
secrets.
I get that. But yeah, take a moment and just say, you know what would really be great is if you would, just I don't know, acknowledge when I did something, or say thanks, or
That that
that's
that
too
to
far.
me, and
That's too
I'll take
much.
it. That to me would be I'm offending you now, It's like me saying, "Hey, you, you know I don't like your hair like that."
Oh, don't say that.
I'm saying, that
That's a
would be
killer right there. You're done. It's just like, yeah, don't be wearing those jeans. Don't,
right. So that would be offensive if I said, "Hey, I think you need to encourage me." Like I don't want to offend you in saying that, but I do want you to pick it up. I do want you to
Okay,
read
then
some
make an
books.
example out of someone else and say, I feel bad that so and so doesn't
Then
get.
comparison kicks in. Oh, I've been there. Whew. So I'll be like, hey, so and so, man, they were having a conversation, and their marriage was like blah 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 because she communicated with him, and he could. Oh, so you blah 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 blah. Yeah, I've been there. Shit, that didn't work. I
Oh,
tried. Oh,
okay. Just throwing things out there. I don't know.
didn't work. That one didn't work. Uh, but I've learned over time how you say something is better than what you say. I give you an example. I heard a person say it this way. I had went to my cousin's performance,
Hmm.
and in going to her performance, it was at a high school. Going to a performance, um, personally, I thought the performance was crap. Like it was terrible.
Hmm. I think we've all been there for someone.
But when she came out and I saw her after the performance, she was like, "Hey, how was it?" At that moment, because of her excitement, she had just
Right.
got off stage, I would have tore her apart. So I had to find a way to say it to her that she understand. Not that I was lying to her, but I had to find a way to say that I was there for that encouragement. I was like, man, the entire thing, man, they had this, the way they set it up, the setup was amazing. I think all characters fulfilled their positions. Like,
You're really digging for something. Yeah.
man, I went around the whole mulberry bush, but I didn't make her feel like crap.
Right.
Later on,
The
a couple
honesty
of
came
weeks
out.
later, I was like, hey, you remember when I went to the performance? Like, I didn't understand anything. I felt like it was crap. But it was later on that she can accept it, and she didn't.
But she didn't get mad at you for being dishonest?
No, because I was not dishonest with her. Everything else that I pointed out was very truthful.
Uh-huh.
I never once said, "Oh man, that performance was great." I was like, the lighting was, the
On point.
costumes was, yeah. So I never lied to her. I didn't want to destroy her that day, and I feel like men, if we want these women to give us encouragement, find a way to tell them. You know them. You sleep with them. I don't know. Find a way to communicate that it's not critical. Now, some women may just be like, "Hey, well, just tell me." Oh, okay. Well, I hate your hair, your breath stink, and you're ugly.
Oh, oh shit.
No, I mean I can't.
I
I
don't
can't
see
say
much
it.
hope in that relationship right there. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Oh my god! But I can't. I wouldn't. I wouldn't do that. I don't know how, but I
What
think, man, we got to find a way.
I can only speak from my own experience, and I was in a relationship where I was told constantly what they thought I wanted to hear instead of what honesty was.
Hmm.
And at now I am so hungry for honesty. Like, don't you dare tell me what you think I want to hear,
So there, to me,
because
isn't there a
that's just
difference?
false.
Isn't there a difference between brutal honesty and just being honest?
Well, brutal honesty is kind of how I am.
So you would want it brutally
No,
honest,
I don't. I think there's nice and respectful ways to say things that are hurtful.
right?
Absolutely. No, don't be brutally honest when you're talking to someone that you're in a relationship with.
Uh huh.
There's kinder ways to do things. But I'm just saying that I also don't want someone telling me what they think I want to hear, because to me, that's weak.
Mm. Man, I hope you catching hold to this. Wow. Thank you for saying. Even now that I'm hearing you, thank you for saying that. Because
And it also shows that you, like, our relationship has gotten to the point where you don't value communicating anything because you're just telling me what I want to hear and that's what we're going to go off of.
But what you want to hear would be a lie, though.
Exactly. And eventually what I lived out is that because he told me only what I wanted to hear, I'm making all these decisions thinking I'm making the right decisions, and then something blows up and he blames me for the whole thing because he didn't say I don't agree with you.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Or maybe we should look at it this way.
I got it. Makes sense.
But yeah, I think if you're just telling me what I want to hear, then there's no real honest communication going on.
So that's to me. I'm looking at it. You can either be brutally honest, you can be honest, or you can lie.
Yeah.
I feel like it's three now. I never want to be brutally honest with the person that I'm with, or the person that I'm in love with, and I'm speaking life into.
Well, I think love prevents you from doing that.
Right.
If you're truly in love. If you're not, then yes, you're probably going to be brutally honest and it's going to be hurtful.
But honesty is needed. The Bible gives an account where God chastises whom He loves. You have to give true, authentic love to a person, and love at times may not be what you want to hear.
Mm-hmm.
How many times God had
Truth is
told you
truth.
something that you didn't want to hear,
Yeah.
and God told you to do something that you didn't want to do? I ask you that, Shelby, because I know you know. However, I think with each other, we should be able to do the same thing and not lie about it. If I know that pissed me off, I need to tell you it pissed me off.
Well, and I think the other thing is that men need to lead. Women have taken over the leadership role. And that's, yeah, you can do it because I did it. But, and I'm speaking from experience, I didn't want to do it, but I had no choice. Somebody had to do it, so I had to do it. But that's not the design of things. And honestly, I don't want to do it anymore.
That part.
I'm so burned out of doing it.
And it's
Like,
okay.
I just want someone to make a decision that's not me.
It's okay with just wanting to be a woman. Like, that's okay.
What is that? No.
And I've heard women apologize for just wanting to be a woman. Like, we should want you all to be a woman. No, you can't walk on my left side because that's closer to the street. Get on my right. Ain't no questions. Yes, you're going to be indecisive. So we having Chinese tonight. Just some stuff, just put your foot down, man. Just.
Yeah, lead. Lead.
It's okay.
Uh-huh.
It's okay.
But there's a lot of women that don't want that. They don't appreciate that because it's been lost.
Well, then if they're not willing to take that step to want to appreciate it, that's a turn around the wrong corner.
What? You confused yourself on that
I
one.
did. I don't know what to say for women that don't want that. And I've experienced that, though. I have.
Well, they can live their life the way they want to. I mean, we all can. It's just that's not, I think, going to perpetuate society in the way that God designed it. Because we've gotten so far from that as it is already.
Yes. Yes, we have.
And we're just continuing to stray further and further away from it.
So this should be the breaking point of at least turning around and looking back and saying, hey, let's change some things using word of mouth podcast.
I don't know about that, but
at least just, have conversation. Let's talk about it. Ladies.
I think we have to appreciate the different roles that each sex has and value what they bring to the table.
Yes.
And what they provide for us as the opposite sex.
Thank you for providing children, because I can't.
Well, you have a role in it.
We do have a role. But your role.
And men, if you lay down to make a baby, then you better stand up and raise that kid and support.
Period. Men, take care of your kids, please. Women, be a woman. Be a woman. The word woman.
What does that mean?
This is how I got it.
Okay, because you're gonna have to clarify that.
The word woman. When Adam looked at
Eve.
that woman that was standing there, I think he said, "Wow, man." It's my story.
And you're sticking to it.
I think that's what he said. Because that's what you all are. You should wow us every day, and that
We
will
should.
make
Now,
us.
wait a second. We should,
You would hope that you would.
but it's not our responsibility to wow you. I'm just going to tell you that straight up.
Yeah.
Wait, I think the way you worded that was a little wrong.
Well, yeah. Let me flip it. Okay, so I think that
In our feminine,
no, I think that every time you wake up, every time a woman wakes up, if I'm with you and you wake up that morning and I turn over and I look at you, man, that's a wow moment to me.
okay. Well, that's not how it came out the first time, so I just
I
wanted
had to clean that up. So for women, continue to wow us with that. Like wow us with your
Femininity.
yes, all of the characteristics that you all carry, and be that in a secure way, not in a way where you're scared because we didn't provide the security. So now you're kind of wobbling on the table saying, should I be the man today or should I be the woman today? Yeah, that should never be a question in a woman's mind.
If we both dwelt in our masculinity and our femininity and stayed in those places, life would be a lot simpler and a lot more beautiful.
Hmm, I agree. Can I ask you a question?
Oh no, here we go.
Question just popped up. How, do you think men should have some feminine ways? Take your time.
No,
Why? You know the why was coming.
I just don't think it works. I just don't think it works.
Because
It's
women
not
have
the
men
design,
ways,
and we're not. Yeah, but that's because society pushed us into that.
right?
If we went back to the way we were a long time ago, we didn't have that.
Okay.
And it's hard. I mean, I can speak. It's hard to get back into your femininity when you have been working in an industry with men and you have been in a relationship where you were leading because someone had to. It's hard to usurp that stuff. I mean, you know how I am, and I have a tough time with it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Um, so it's not. I mean, it's not something you just snap your fingers and you're better. You're changed, and it probably works the same way with men who have gone the opposite direction. I don't know because I'm not a man, but if we would just dwell in what we were created to be and we would appreciate the opposite sex for what they were created to be and what they're supposed to balance us with, we'd be in a much better place. If we could just get back to that. If we could just get back to appreciating people, period.
So wouldn't that take for men to tap into their feminine ways for them to understand that they are masculine? I don't even know what I just said. That didn't make sense to me as it was coming out.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me
no.
go back. I don't even know.
Oh, no.
What?
Are you talking emotions? Like what?
Yeah.
Are you saying
okay.
emotions are only feminine? They're not. Emotions are much heavier in the feminine, but emotions are not only feminine.
I agree with that. I agree with that. Somehow, some way, men have to understand women. So we have to tap into something.
Good luck with that.
We have to tap into something to try to understand them. If we don't, I mean, it's going to be bad for the both of us.
Well, try to understand your woman. Don't try to understand women as a whole.
Yes, I agree. Because there's a bunch of them that's weird.
No, don't say that.
No, but you're right.
It goes back to not putting everybody in the same box. That's the thing. Don't generalize.
Okay, have you ever saw that movie? I think it was with Mel Gibson. It was called What Women Want.
Yes.
Okay, he tapped into that area where he were able to hear the thoughts.
Right.
And it helped him not
manipulate
only
women.
for his gain though, but it helped him to
Exactly.
understand
Yes.
the characteristics of the personalities
Yes.
because women are so multitaskable. And I made that word up as I was going. Multitask, they do so many different things, and you all brain are like everywhere. Like right now, we're podcasting, but I know that you're probably thinking about three other things that you got to do later on. But men are
Not at
not
all.
that
I don't know
way.
what you're talking about.
Yeah, all right. But men are not that way. So it's hard for us to tap into
And
that
see, it's hard for me to figure out why you guys can't do more than one
because
thing
we
at a
can't.
time.
I'm so serious. I want a man to comment to say that you can do three things at once. This woman is sitting here podcasting. She's working on something else in her head and already done wrote 3 books. Period. We can't do that. I'm focusing on this, and until I
Okay, so I have to appreciate the fact that y'all are just tunnel vision one thing at a time.
period. Men comment, please. Period. This is it. That's all you get. And then until we turn the corner, that's when we gonna focus on this. That's it. It takes time.
Man, I want to be like you.
I applaud women that do it. Take care of the children, cook a meal,
Work.
work, cater to him, and then get up and do it back all over again. Plus, you still have womanly stuff that go on. Us, we work. Notice
No,
I ain't
I
said
mean, you, I would hope are participating in things at home.
absolutely. When we get home,
Yeah.
y'all doing it at work. You don't see the difference?
No, I get because you're talking about the multitasking.
Yes.
Okay.
When we at work, we at work. When we at the gym, we at the gym.
Oh
When
my
we out
God!
with the
When you're
fellas,
at work as a mother, you get a phone call from school. You get a phone call from the coach. You have to figure out what the snack is for the whatever's happening after school. But men could participate in those things. They choose not to,
yeah,
in my
we could.
experience.
We could. I agree. We could. We could. I feel like in the household when my kids were much younger, um, I learned how to do it because I didn't want all of the pressure on my wife at the time. So I knew that if she was gonna deal with the food part,
Hmm.
I'm picking them up, I'm dropping them off. Like I knew that okay, I have to help her. From my perspective, I want to help her so she don't come home drained because later on when we
I don't want to get busy.
you know what I'm saying? So
Uh huh.
I don't want her to be all drained out. So I'm doing my part.
Okay, but can I just say because I think I never even thought about this. I got it. In my relationship, I got sucked into the fact that he was so miserable in every part of his life, and he worked for our company and blah blah blah. That I wanted to make everything as easy for him as possible. Well, then I completely enabled him to do nothing. So I created my own monster. And I did the same with the kids because I didn't want them to feel burdened because they had so much going on at home that I just wanted life to be easy. So I took on the burdens of everybody. And that was my own doing. And I admit that 100%. But I was only like today years old a couple of years ago where it was like, you know what? If he had lived in that house by himself, he would have had to do the yard work. He would have had to do the laundry. He would have had to cook the meals. He would have had to vacuum. He would have had to clean the house. He would have had to participate in some form or fashion. But that's not what I created in my lifestyle. That was not what I created in my home. So, yes, if you're married or you're together with someone and you're sharing a domicile, please participate because
I agree.
you you would have to participate if that other person wasn't there.
That other person to be burned out. And not only burned out, now you're provoking anger, rage, like all of these different things because you're looking at the other person like, man, you don't see me?
Or you're just breaking someone's heart, but yes. Uh-huh. Like I said, if you're not worth their effort, then what do you yeah.
Yeah. Yikes.
But see, I created it. I will take ownership of that. I enabled that to happen.
Hmm.
So it was on me. But yeah, don't if you're living together, y'all need to participate together.
I agree. People say that, I mean, the roles in the kitchen, the roles in the cleaning and the cooking and all that stuff. Yeah, man, I know how to cook. I know how to
Good.
clean.
Good.
I'm good. If I'm at home, it's a day off, and she's hanging out with the girls. What's wrong with me grabbing a load of clothes?
Nothing.
What's wrong with me cooking a dinner before when she get home? Like I don't know. I don't know. I waver in that, man. Judge me later, fellas. Judge me later. I don't mind cooking. I don't mind cleaning. I don't mind washing, brothers.
No, and if there's something that you're not good at or you don't like doing it, then yeah, you don't have to necessarily participate in that particular thing, but you should be participating in all the others.
I agree. At least try.
Yeah.
Put an effort.
Yeah.
She'll see you and be like, no, do it this way, babe. No.
And see, a lot of men are going to say, well, she has her way of doing things and I don't want to screw it up or I don't want to hear about it. Okay, get over yourself.
Yeah, facts. Because if she has her own way, watch her one day. Like if you know that she's separating the whites from the darks.
But
and
don't
the
use that
reds,
as an excuse not to participate.
I agree.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm 100% in agreement. Fellas, stop using excuses to not wash dishes. Load the dishwasher.
Yeah, and if she redoes it, so she redoes it.
Watch her do it so you can know how to do it next time. And I promise you she'll appreciate you. I promise you she will.
But she's multitasking in her brain and she's trying to load it so that she has less to deal with when she has
Boom.
to multitask. And it's
That's the
organized in
secret.
the way that she understands it.
That's the secret. Fellas, you heard it? That's the secret. All right. So we are.
We didn't stick to a half hour, did we?
Nah, we had an
No.
hour.
No.
But we wanted to get all of this
We
out,
didn't discuss
man.
what we were supposed to talk about.
I don't think we did. A little bit. We did. We talked about some roles, male, female, really men taking our place back. So we did. We covered quite a bit. Conclusion? You have a conclusion?
Like I said, if we would all just go back to how we were designed and stay in our own places and appreciate each other more, period, across the board, the world would be a better place.
Appreciate. I'm going to add to that and respect each other more as well.
Absolutely, respect is a necessity. And don't generalize and paint with a broad brush if you're in the dating world and you're trying to find someone, because painting with a broad brush is not going to help you any.
Amen. Boom. You heard it here. Word of mouth podcast. Nate and Shelby. Hey, we'll see you soon.
Love ya. Have a good day.